Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. My name is Mama Amin bin Mama Arif. Student ID 2017156733. For this course Hrm666 Hr Internship, I have choose to have my internship at Lembaga Hasil Dalam Negeri Malaysia, Cawangan Duta Perniagaan, Kompleks Rayaan Jalan Tuan Kau Abdul Halim, Kuala Lumpur. First I'm going to explain a brief about my working experience at Lembaga Hasil. At Lembaga Hasil, actually, I work in collection department under my supervisor, Encik Firuz Zarizi Abdul Rahim. My main responsibility is to check taxpayer tax position, whether there's outstanding or areas, or whether there's some tax refund need to be arranged. It is part of my responsibility also to arrange process to issue Section 104 certificate to prevent some taxpayer so that they can't leave Malaysia before settling their tax arrears. Okay. First, we shall see about Lembaga Hasil Dalam Negeri Malaysia. Lembaga Hasil Dalam Negeri Malaysia is one of Malaysia's main revenue collecting agencies in Malaysia under the Ministry of Finance. Was formerly known as Jabatan Hasil Dalam Negeri Malaysia, which was established under the Inland Revenue Board of Malaysia Act 1995 to give it more autonomy power in financial and personnel management, so that it can improve the quality and effectiveness of tax administration. On the 1st March 1996, Jabatan Hasil Dalam Negeri Malaysia was transformed to become a board, a statutory body actually, and known as Lembaga Hasil Dalam Negeri Malaysia. It was Lembaga Hasil Dalam Malaysia was responsible for the overall administration of direct tax under the following: Income Tax Act 1967, Petroleum Act 1967, Real Property Gain Tax Act 1976, Promotion of Investment 1986, Stamp Act 1949, and Labuan Business Activity Tax Act 1990. Lembaga Hasil Negeri Malaysia vision was to be a leading tax administration, and its mission is to provide excellent tax service by improving voluntary tax compliance, implement an integrated and transparent taxation system, increasing operational effectiveness through innovative processes in information technology, and enhancing a competent workforce. The objective of Lembaga Hasil Dalam Negeri Malaysia is to implement effective, fair and equitable tax management system. And Lembaga Hasil Dalam Negeri Malaysia slogan was "Together we develop the nation." Its quality policy: with integrity as foundation, we are committed to giving the best service to our customer, which is the taxpayer. And our service, Lembaga Hasil Dalam Malaysia service motto was "The best service for you." Okay, next I'm going to explain about Lembaga Hasil Dalam Malaysia core value. Actually, there are 5 elements. Firstly, happy, which it is expected that all Lembaga Hasil employees are to be happy working with Lembaga Hasil Dalam Malaysia. A teamwork, which is everybody need to work as a team. As professionalism, work with professionalism. Integrity, it is expected we all have to work with integrity, and strive for excellence. All these 5 become the word hasil, which means revenue. Okay, there are board of directors for Lembaga Hasil. The chairman would be the Secretary General of Treasury, currently Datuk Seri Asri bin Hamidin, and there are members of the board which come from the Public Service Department, Lembaga Hasil Negeri Malaysia, Attorney General, National Accountant, and we also have the private consultant. Overall, there are 12 State Director Office, 38 branches, 39 Revenue Service Center, 6 Satellite Office, 16 Investigation Branches, 3 and 2 Stamping Center, and 3 Revenue Collection Center. The Revenue Collection Center, one in KL, Kuala Lumpur, another one in Kuching, Sarawak, and the last one in KK. Okay, now we shall go to my training reflection. Okay, my working hours start at 7:30 until 4:30 in the evening from Monday to Friday. But since Malaysian have flexible working hours, actually I can come any period between 7:30 to 8:30 and go home from 4:30 to 5:30 in the evening, depending on what time I start my work. There'll be 1 hour lunch break from 1 to 2 in the afternoon for lunch and Zohar prayer. But on Friday, the lunch break will be slightly longer, from 10:15 to 2:45, in order to make time for Friday prayer. During the MCO COVID-19, the directive was only 50% of the staff will come to work, while another will work from home on rotational basis, subject to need basis actually. When there's an outbreak in the office, the whole floor will be closed, the whole unit will be closed for 1 day for sanitation work. Okay, my job responsibility was to remind the taxpayer on their tax area, issuing tax position to taxpayer, arranging for taxpayer refund if there's any refund, arranging process for issuing Section 104 certificate to prevent taxpayer from leaving Malaysia before settling their tax, and finally to entertain taxpayer requests and inquiries, anything regarding their tax. Okay, so every morning my job was to check my email. Then I start to analyze taxpayer ledger. If there's any balance, I will arrange for refund. If there's any areas, I will issue a reminder letter. If after 130 days there's no reaction from taxpayer, I'll issue another warning letter. After 14 days, if still there's nothing from taxpayer, I will arrange for Section 104 travel restriction. And finally, prepare for civil action to be taken to the taxpayer. Sometimes taxpayer will call and request for installment. Then I will discuss with taxpayer the terms and amount for the installment. Normally it will take about around 6 to 12 payment, but we suggest for 6 time payment only. Okay, what are benefit that I get when working with Lembaga Hasil? Firstly, we got allowance. Besides basic salary, there are 2 main fixed allowance, which is one is COLA, cost of living allowance, and housing allowance. Beside those 2, if there's an outside of office work, I do have entitled for travel allowance, lodging or hotel, toll, parking, laundry, anything that related to that need to finish my job. Okay, then we have, when it comes to medical, LHDN provide with medical insurance up to 60,000 per year in case of hospitalization. For outpatient, we have panel clinic under ASP Medical. If there's some issues or that the employee need some medication or medical equipment that not covered under the insurance, it still be available, subject to government hospital recommendation using the JPA Form 1. And beside private clinic and hospital, we do have guarantee letter or GL if you want to go to public hospital or Institute Jantung Negara. This benefit covered for employee, spouse, children, and immediate parents. LHDN also provide loan facilities for its employee, loan for motorcycle, smartphone or computer, and study loan. And we also actually entitled to purchase house using the LPPSA, Public Sector Housing Loan Facilities. Beside that, there'll be annual increment 6% every year, and there'll be salary adjustment every 3 to 5 years. The rate depending on negotiation between all stakeholders, including union, board of director, and government. Bonus are subject to yearly tax collection and achievement. And once a year, we have what we call travel insurance if you want to travel overseas, either for official or leisure. And for those outstation, which means from Sabah or Sarawak working in Peninsula, or those in Sabah working in Sarawak, or those in Peninsula working in Sabah or Sarawak, we do entitled to get yearly flight ticket for whole family actually. Okay, now we're going to talk about SWOT. SWOT analysis. What is SWOT? SWOT, firstly, we got S stand for strength. What we have that helpful to achieve our objective. This is normally the internal. W stand for weakness. Still internal, but what can harm our way to achieve objective. Then O is opportunities, normally external opportunities. And T stand for threat. S and W is internal, O and T is external. Okay, why we use SWOT? SWOT we use in strategic planning to analyze and identify internal and external factors that can affect organization, and so that we can leverage the organization's strength to rectify weakness, minimizing threat, and focus on the future opportunities. By capitalizing SWOT, we can encourage idea, improve decision making in order to utilize the existing strength, exploit opportunities, minimize or rectify weakness, and protect against threat. All this come from understanding of the in reality organization position. Okay, what are the benefit of SWOT? First, we can identify the core competencies so that we can have a clear view of the organization strength. Then it can identify weakness so that we can giving the opportunity for the organization to act and rectify the weakness. Thirdly, to explore opportunities so that the organization can be ready and to capitalize the future opportunity. And finally, to recognize potential threat, therefore help the organization to make necessary changes in order to face the threat. Okay, LHDN strength is the main strength is it was the main agencies that responsible to collect revenues for government. Its taxpayer base is around 2.21 million, contributing to 4.6% of total government revenue. The whole collection last year, 2021, was over 140 billion, and for this year's, the government have set the target around 139 billion. Okay, in order to be able to do its tasks, actually LHDN has a collaboration with many agencies such as National Immigration Department, Road Transport Department, Royal Custom, National Registration Department, and many others. Okay, its main strength is LHDN is the human resource, whereas LHDN have a large numbers of employees, around 12,000. When we have this many of employees, we have many ideas, we have a stronger team with knowledge and abilities to formulate how to achieve objective. However, human resource without skill are useless. Therefore, LHD have two internal training center, Malaysia Tax Academy, one in Bandar Baru Bangi and another one in Kuching, Sarawak. Beside that, LHDN also have the fast CEO incubator in order to select and train future leaders of LHDN. Okay, another strength is the good practice value, which is firstly we have the five core values, which I already explained earlier. Second thing, we have the grand strategy, LHDN roadmap to 2030. And finally, we also implement EXA to improve quality and conducive workplace, and at the same time promote creative and innovative culture. Okay, now we talk about weakness. LHDN main weakness is bureaucratic, as it origin from the government agencies, and government agencies are synonym with bureaucracy. One of bureaucracy weakness is red tape, where there are tendency to follow the rules and formalities while ignoring the common sense and sensibility. And every single request need a paperwork, need form filling, and endless pushing requests here and there across department. Another issue with bureaucracy is public perception. To the public, bureaucracy is bad news. It all is about inefficiencies, uncaring, and unresponsive. When it comes to opportunity, firstly we can say technology, mainly in mobile phone, as it is estimated there are 229 million mobile phone user in Malaysia, and by 2030 there will be over 30 million mobile phone user. Therefore, it is what we call crucial for LHDN to tap and get closer to the public by utilizing mobile phone. By developing mobile phone app as MyTax, the LHDN will make it easier for the public, especially the taxpayer, to reach LHDN. As technology become more matured and we have faster connection as like the 5G, more advanced application can be utilized by LHDN. Okay, another thing is anywhere office. COVID-19 pandemic has shown that most of the work we done in the office actually can be done anywhere, including home. As therefore, LHDN offer the benefit of work from home for its employee, and by using what we call Prakar Waktu Digital to clock in and out. And at the same time, we're also using hasil identity to access the common office application. Threat to LHDN, firstly, is economic downturn, as the COVID-19 introduced the MCO makes cause disruption in economic activities. This will translate into economic crisis, whereas most business are losing money. But in order to combat COVID-19, government expenditure has increased and need HDN to collect more revenues. But the reality on the street make it hard for HDN to achieve that goal. Another issue is fraud, where there are a lot of cases where scammer pretending to be LHDN officer and scam taxpayer. This has led to bad impression actually, and some of the taxpayer even treat the legitimate phone call from LHDN as scam call. Okay, now we go for SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis, actually we talk about what are the strategies by utilizing SWOT actually. Firstly, we have the strength opportunity strategy. So here, since we have full trained and developed employees, human resource is our LHDN main strength. But in order to do this, LHDN has its succession program, the CEO incubator for the top liners, and Semayan Hasil for the bottom line. This is to ensure its future employee and leadership are in good state and will be able to lead the organization forward. And another opportunity that LHDN has tapped in is the MyText application, which is available for Android and Apple smartphone. This will make it easier for taxpayer to reach taxpayer and for taxpayer to reach LHDN. And currently in Johor Bahru, now we have what we call SOFO, Small Office Front Office program, actually run under pilot test, where the employee only need to come to office only 2 days per week. Another 3 days, they can choose whether to work at home or go to spend time at any other restaurant branches. By doing this, it will make LHDN become closer its engagement with both employees and taxpayer. Second strategy is strength versus threat. As what we have here is the threat is the economic downturn, and this uncertain time require unconventional thinking. We don't really have to stick to the book. Therefore, having large number of trade employees, LHDN we have more idea, more knowledge, ability to face this challenge. The third strategy will be weakness opportunities. In order to minimize drawback of bureaucracy, LHDN use technology to streamline its operation. Most of those manual form nowadays we have ceased to use, and now we start to use online based web application, as this has proven to reduce red tape, as whenever approval are need, the manager or the supervisor are able to give authorization anywhere anytime using the internet. And LHDN also encourage our taxpayer to use online tax reporting form instead of manual form, as it more user friendly, convenient and faster. And most of taxpayer also prefer using online form nowadays. The final strategy is weakness threat, as perception is everything, and therefore shaping public perception towards LHDN is crucial. How to shape the public perception is by making the public closer to LHDN by having kelas cukai program to educate public to become a responsible taxpayer, and to help them recognize scammer who are pretend to be LHDN officer. LHDN also have a program with Kidzania to educate young child about what is tax all about in Malaysia. Okay, this uncertain time require different approach. Therefore, communication and cooperation between LHDN and public are crucial to help LHDN become in line with its corporate tagline, Hasil, your feel good partner. The conclusion, Lembaga Hasil dalam Negeri Malaysia is one of Malaysia's main revenue collection agency to cater the needs of its customer of 2.21 million people. LHDN need to become more proactive. Okay, besides collecting tax for the government, LHDN also involved in other tasks, such as involved in registration and collecting data for Bantuan Keluarga Malaysia, which formerly known as BRIM and BSH. Working with LHDN has offered many benefits to its employees. Among others are medical, assistance further studies, loan and allowance. During my internship here, I've able to experience all five core values of LHDN. In preparing for this report, I have first-hand analyzing the SWOT analysis for LHDN, as compare just reading about SWOT in the book and notes before, which is SWOT actually an important process to help any organization to evaluate its internal and external environment by identifying its strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat. From there, strategies shall be formed. Strategies, strength, opportunities, SO, strategy, threat, ST, weakness, opportunity, WO, and weakness, threat, WT strategy to be formulated. From this strategy, LHM should be able to follow its roadmap and achieve its vision of becoming a leading tax administration, and by this at the same time enliven its corporate tagline, hasil your feel good partner to taxpayer. Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Azura, for supervising this course. Thank you, Mr. Firuzarizi, for supervising and offer many advice and help during this internship. Thank you, my colleague, for helping and guiding me throughout this internship. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.